We've started something new here on News 6 at 9, Ask a Doctor.
Yeah, it's a way to help viewers get results with either questions that they kind of feel uncomfortable about or things you think you know all about, but you're still missing a key point that could really make a big difference.
And what about your sleep? That's a topic that comes up. So morning anchor Kirsten O'Connor joins us now to Ask a Doc.
Well, hello everyone. I am here today with Dr. Latha Ganti from Osceola Regional Medical Center. She loves to join us for these segments, and we ask lots of questions of you, doctor, so we thank you for being here. Today we're talking about one of our favorite topics, and that is sleep. We all need it. We sometimes don't get it, and sometimes we don't even understand the importance of what it does for our body. But lack of sleep can really lead to serious health issues, and if you can't sleep, that could indicate larger problems. So we're asking Dr. Ganti today about our sleep hygiene and keeping ourselves in a good rhythm. What are some things that you notice patients asking questions about who are maybe experiencing some of those serious issues with lack of sleep?
So lack of sleep is extremely prevalent, and many times we get patients who come into the emergency department because they're exhausted. And it's not that there's a whole bunch of other things wrong, but all they need is a good night's sleep. So how do we get that? There's several things we can do to optimize our sleep. And first thing is people ask me is, how many hours do I need? So how many hours do you think you need?
8. That's
Okay.
what everybody always says.
8 is good. 7's probably fine too. So if you can get 7, that's pretty good too.
Well, that's good.
And did
usually
you know
don't get it 8 full
a third
hours.
of the country does not get enough sleep. So 33% of all Americans are functioning on what they call short sleep. And short sleep is terrible for you. It leads to all sorts of problems: obesity, depression, alcoholism, death, cardiovascular disease, the list goes on.
And we were just talking about how both of us work overnight shifts, so we both understand how you have to really adjust your schedule and figure it out. And there are quite a few people who have a differing sleep schedule than the normal, go to work at 9 o'clock, come home at 5, eat dinner, and go to sleep.
Absolutely. And there are many specific tips for night shift workers as well. One of my favorite ones is when you leave work, don't go home and try to do a whole bunch of errands. Leave work, put some dark sunglasses on, try to get home and slip right into bed. Otherwise, you are just prolonging the sleep deficit.
And those blackout curtains actually do
Blackout
something
curtains,
for you.
something with the eye mask, dark, quiet place. And we talk about this in our mnemonic, which we can do anytime, but basically you want to prepare your room for success, right? You want your bedroom to be cool, dark, quiet, some dark shades, and really nothing but sleep and sex in your bed.
Very good to know. And I think also people want to know, when is it appropriate to get a sleeping aid, whether it's over the counter or it's something that's prescribed?
So, like with all things, I know that we don't always have things to be optimal, but in general, sleep aids, excessive caffeine, any of those things that people think, oh, I could just have a nightcap, help me sleep, not really recommended. We all rely on some of them sometimes, but I think the best thing to focus on is first perfect sleep hygiene, and focus on that first.
So if someone came to you and said, oh, but I've been taking Ambien for years and it's been working for me, you would tell them, try to get off of it?
I would say, try to get off of it, and let's optimize the sleep hygiene first, because you feel a lot better than you do when you are taking the sleep aids.
About how long would that take for somebody to readjust?
Probably a couple of weeks. They say it takes 21 days to form a habit, so probably 3 weeks.
Another thing we talked about, the cell phones and the light coming from our electronic devices. Is that really true that if you're sitting there looking at your electronic device right before you go to sleep, it's going to prohibit or not help with your sleeping?
So all our devices, cell phones, tablets, computers, they emit what's called this blue light, and you want to eliminate blue light at least an hour before bed. And I know I'm up here saying this, I do this too. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, the first thing I reach for is my cell phone, and I have to tell myself, I'm doing a segment tomorrow, I've got to not look at my phone.
Right, because you need the rest of your sleep.
Right.
So you like to end with a mnemonic, so tell us what the mnemonic is for sleep.
So today's mnemonic is sleep. So S for 7 hours, L for limit alcohol, excessive calories, and caffeine. E for establish a good sleep routine. So really you want to try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekends, give or take an hour. The other E is eliminate electronic devices. I think that's going to be the hardest one for most people. And P, prepare your bedroom for success, as we discussed.
All right, Dr. Latha Ganti here from Osceola Regional. Thank you again for all of your sleep answers, and I'll send it back to you ladies at the desk.